Hey guys, Jasmine and Tiffany here, and we're back with another episode of The Girls Are Talking. And today we're going to be talking about the Vampire Lestat, episode 1, Detroit. And I just wanted to tell you guys, we're sorry that the video didn't go out yesterday. That was our hope. Our hope was for the video to go out last night, but technical issues, me messing up, I forgot to make sure that our audio was working okay so that we could do the video, and that's why we have a late video. But our hope is that they won't be late anymore after this, but obviously, schedules were standing because she works full time. She's an RN. I'm an LVN. She's
I won't always get to watch it on Sundays live because of work,
so there might be a slight delay, but we're gonna make sure we're consistent with getting our reviews up with our thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. So you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
So what did
get
you
into it again?
So what did you think?
I loved the first episode. I think that it was a great addition to the Vampire Chronicles universe, the series, because it was very fast paced and it was just a lot of fun. Like it stuck with the formula that they used for both seasons of Interview with the Vampire, where it was just really fun. Like it was a good addition. Like it didn't feel like, even though it's basically the second book in the series, it didn't feel like a strange switch up. Like it didn't feel like anything that came out of left field. Like it basically it fit in perfectly the way it should have. And so I enjoyed it very much because it was very it was just very it was very bright and colorful. And Sam Reed, I felt like he just Lestat left off the page as through Sam Reed. I felt like he was ever since Interview with the Vampire, I just felt like Sam Reed is just like the living, breathing Lestat. Like if you told me he was very Lestat, I would believe you.
I agree with that. Like I think that this was a great way to kick off the episode, the season, to kick off the season. I think it was a great introduction, and what I love the most about it is that because we've already had Interview with the Vampire, with all the seasons we've had those. There's no need for necessarily introductions of characters because we already know who everybody is and we already know like what their motivations are and things like that. But with this, we're getting a whole other level. We're getting to see Lestat's like why and the what, the who, all that stuff, like what makes him act the way he does, what drives him, like what makes him act like he does, who, like how he became basically who he is. Like I mean, the Brett Prince, like was like what was it that made him that way?
This is, I mean, the Vampire Lestat as Lestat's POV, because Interview with the Vampire is told from Louis' point of view, so it's told in a lens that frames Lestat as like this villainous, seductive person or creature, and the Vampire Lestat is his way of saying I'm more than that. It's his way of saying that yeah, sure, I'm sexy and and powerful, but there's also more to me than that. But also the funny thing too about it is like based on like the things that when you watch Lestat as he moves through his his career, like starting off, like when he gives you the backstory of how he became a rock star, and then it goes into like the scene where he's talking about how many fans he wants. He's basically saying like he wants love, like he wants adulation, like he wants somebody to love him. And it's like he could care less about those people that that are screaming and fawning over him. But because it's even though he has that, it's basically the same way as like the way pop culture can be now, where like entertainers get so much adoration from people that don't really know them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just one person or like persons that they want, that they care the most about their opinions and their feelings. And Lestat, like he's chasing something, even though like it's exciting to him. Him doing it, like the way it becomes a thing is like it comes out of annoyance, because he's upset because he finds out about Louis writing the book. Mm-hmm. And Louis thought it wasn't going to get written because he thought that he burned the laptop, and they have to learn about cloud storage, guys.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so so when that happens, he's frustrated, and like every little thing is just irritating him that night. And that's when he goes into that house or that apartment house, whatever, and he meets that band. And it was not even his intention to be a part of the band. and he was just sick and tired of them playing badly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But yeah, like that's actually a good way to look at it. What you were saying when you were talking about about him saying the amount of fans that he wants, and that's just basically his way of saying that he wants to be like loved and adored. And like you said, it's like he couldn't really necessarily care less about those people at all. It's just like he wants like there's like the one person Louis is that's like the main person that he cares about, whose opinion matters to him. Like like how we have that scene with them on Halloween when he's playing music, which I love that scene so much. And Louis, for him, like represents calmness, and so like he's sitting there just having this calm conversation with Louis, asking him about his music, and like, how do you think it sounds? And Louis just like, it's nice, and, but like his opinion matters. Like what Louis says matters to Lestat, which we know, and we see that how much it's affected him because of how angry he gets when he finds out about the book.
So by getting framed as a villain in the story.
Because when he goes and he sees that book and he reads about it, then it's like, wow, like that's all Louis ever saw me as is a villain. Like, like this is my love. Like I basically created you, like, and this is how you see me, is just like some monster. Like, my goodness. And so then, we end up getting the rock star Lestat because
chaos ensues.
He's basically basically what it is Lestat did the whole rock star thing that we see now, where people write songs about the person that,
pretty much.
I mean, that's basically what it was. Like, Lestat was like, I'm gonna write music about you.
He's like, I want to fix my long face. But yeah, like, and
that song is good. Okay, Long Face is good.
And I love the way that they framed this season also, because in the books they take place in like the like the 80s and the late 80s and 90s, and I like the way that they framed it in the 2025 atmosphere, because it's cool to see Lestat and Louis as they navigate the way things are now, which obviously I know they did it in the last season too, but I'm just saying, like, seeing it from this point of view where Lestat's actually has to become a part of pop culture, so he's seeing it for like the frivolousness of it. Like, he has a tendency to like things that are frivolous and gaudy and ridiculous and silly, but at the same time he also sees it and he's kind of like, this kind of stuff is stupid. Like, like he makes commentary about like labubus and everything like that. And it's like, I never thought that I would hear Lestat say the word labubu, by the way. Chugi, even, like, what is that even? Like, Gen Z, sorry. Like, I don't know all your speak, but yeah. But yeah, like I knew I learned what it meant, but I forget what it's like. I think it's like something like older, outdated, something like that. But yeah, but anyway, I never had that on my bingo card. I'd be hearing Lestat use Gen Z terms and things like that. But it's interesting to see, him, because it's also, I feel like also, like, it's the way that it's written, it also calls out the way that society is right now, because he talks about, like, they wanted to make America great again. It's like, we all know, like, if you know. So, and then also I love the LGBTQIA representation. It was so cool that they have a vampire that was non-binary. Like, I love when the vampire was like, they. But yeah, like, it's a lot of fun. Like, I'm having it's just one episode, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, but I agree with you, because I know that there's been, like, I've seen like a lot of discourse online, because like some people are kind of upset that about the the 2025 time period, because like most people were wanting it to stay within the the time period that it takes place in the books. But the thing is, like, with an adaptation, you kind of have to step out of the box and do something different, and while obviously still maintaining the spirit and the essence of the story, because I mean that's what I see. And like you said, like, it is interesting to see it on a whole different playing field of, like, the working with the year 2025 and having to navigate like all the different pop culture references, and Lestat talking about, I don't want to do another TikTok dance, like all that stuff. And so, like, what's interesting about it is, like, what you said about how he's looking at the way that our society is, and like people were bothered by him talking about labubus and shugi and all that stuff, which I actually didn't get. It didn't bother me, because the thing is, like you said, it's like Lestat is like, he's over the top in his own way, but he also recognizes when something is really just like outlandish even for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's trying to
he's poking fun at those things.
Basically. So he's trying to navigate the system that he's in, with what he's, all the decades. This man is old. He's seen a lot. Like, he has seen a lot in his lifetimes. And so for him, what he's gone through is watched all the different decades and all the excess and the way that the world has changed over time.
Yeah, because even when he talks about like the person buying his failures, the audio that they're the bios that they're listening to right now of him giving this whole backstory, he talks about how you spent $7 million on this, and you could have fed people with this, but you bought this, and he's like, I mean, I like you for that, but like you could have done other things with that, but you chose to do this. And it's like, so that's also commentary on the ridiculous nature of capitalism.
Yeah, and that's why it's basically like he shines a mirror on society. Like, he forces us to look at ourselves. Like, it's basically like saying, like, you think I'm a problem, but what about you? Like, you look what you're doing. Like, look at the things you're doing over here.
And the funny thing about it too is, like, I love that, like, there's, because like you were telling me that people are like upset about him with the pop culture references that they had in there, but they also have to understand that this is 2026 now, and they're trying to, the creators, like, Christopher and all of them, they're trying to create a world where it honors the books written by Miss Anne and keep the fans, the OG fans who read every single book and what, like, have been sticking with it for years, since Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and everything. And they're also trying to bring in the new people who haven't read the books, because when you do adaptations, you have to make it where even though it's for the reader, it also has to be for somebody who didn't read the book.
Yeah.
So you have to and then it's also, it has to fit into this time frame too. It has to be something that they can relate to, and if there's nothing they can relate to, then your audience is not going to be interested. So I also love the fact that they have Lestat in this time frame, because realistically, honestly, like, he would be the way he is. Like, if Lestat lived right now, this is exactly who he would be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the Lestat that I would see fitting into this time period. And so, because it's like, you have to, they like you said, they're old, they've lived a long time. Every time the generation, or the decades, the centuries pass, they have to change with the times. And and they learn new things. So it's like, otherwise they're just going to get stagnant, and they'll go into their little hole and they'll bury themselves, and like, basically, because they do, that's what they'll do. Like, they'll they that's where he was basically buried, hiding out somewhere, basically in a hibernation kind of state, and then he came back out.
Yeah. And so, like, before I'm gonna ask you a question, but before I do, like, one of the other things too that I want to mention, because I've seen a lot of people saying that there's people saying, like, not to watch, you don't have to watch season 1 and season 2 of Interview with the Vampire.
That's not true.
To watch this. And like, first of all, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to watch Louis' story first? Lestat's literally the one who made Louis. Like, you would want to watch that. So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. Why you would even tell somebody not to watch both of those seasons before they dive into this? Because everything that happens in season 1 and season 2 is the catalyst for season 3. So
exactly.
Well, not season 3, but
for
the Vampire Lestat. So it's like, you have to watch it. Like, don't let anybody say don't watch season 1 and season 2. That's just no.
You have to.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, what did you think about Lestat's drug trip?
I thought that it was hilarious. I thought that it was hilarious, and I was actually shocked that he was on one. Like, when I was watching, because I was actually, while I was watching, I was trying to remember, because when they introduced Baby Jinx, I was like, oh, Baby Jinx is in here. Like, when they introduced her, I couldn't remember. I was like, did he get high off Baby Jinx? Is that what happened in the book? Because like I said,
I need to go back and look at the book.
It's been years since I have read all the books. I'm sorry. Like, I haven't. I have a full big, like, fancy book that has all 3 stories. It has Interview, The Vampire Lestat, and Queen of the Damned, which are like my top 3 favorite books in the series of all time. Like, Memnoch the Devil was also top tier. And Blackwood Farm, oh yeah, those are top tier. But anyway, so it's been a long time, but so I can't exactly remember if that happens in the book, but I imagine that at some point there were moments where he did get high off of blood, because people do drugs and vampires, but the thing is, you would think that he'd pay attention to it, I guess, like, he would be able to know that, like, if he, I don't know, but
well, he said remember, he said he has blinders when it comes to poison blood.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh. He has been poisoned. He does. Yes, homeboy does have a history.
You would think that would make him more cautious.
Like, Wait, what is that?
I'm saying that you think that after being poisoned, being blood poisoned, you'd have more
That's
caution.
true.
But
What about you? What did you think of the trip?
I thought it was hilarious too, but I thought it was like my favorite part of it was like Baby Jinx like talking to him while he's
healing her soul.
he's having this
he's
having this whole conversation with her, and then like all the stuff that where it leads up to this big old fight with the Fang gang, and he's literally trying to fight while he's like high out of his mind. Like it was great cinema. It was very, very bloody, but it was very, very entertaining. What about, which that brings me to my next question. Who did you think was at the door when he was in the hotel room? Because in the whole episode, like we have like him texting, moi, toi, like that thing going back and forth. So like for me, like I actually thought that it was going to be Louis, because like we'd seen that like thing in the Halloween with him talking about come to me, and which like I would be right there, but I'm but anyway, who did you think was on the other side of the door, and were you surprised?
Honestly, I wasn't surprised, because basically what I thought was, when I was reading all the text messages, I was like, it doesn't. I was like, at some points it seemed like it was Louis he was talking to, and then the other parts, I was kind of like, who is this? I don't think he's talking to Louis. And then when he started talking and everything, I was like, this is too obvious, so it's not Louis. And then I was like, it's probably his mom, and I was right. Because I was like, it just felt too obvious for it to be Louis. I was like, and the thing is also, they have a way of making it where it takes a long time before they see each other. So and because they know that we want that ship, that toxic ship, so they're not going to give it to us that fast.
Yeah, well, I'm easy.
And also, Louis didn't come around that fast. Like, I don't even, as I recall, I'm trying to remember, I don't even think Louis was that prominent in the Vampire Lestat, come to think of it. He wasn't even in it at all. I don't think, they don't see each other again until, good God, like, I forget which book it is, but it's a long time before they see each other again. There's a lot of books down the line before they actually see each other again. I can't remember. If you are freshly reading and you remember which book they see each other
again,
remind us, because like I said, I don't remember.
But yeah, no, I said I'm easy. I thought that it was Louis on the other side, but like I was thinking that it was like Louis that he was texting, and he was avoiding him, which that brings me to my next thing. Did you feel like we didn't have enough Louis in this episode? Because I saw the complaints about that too. I saw like a lot of people saying like there wasn't enough Louis in this episode, and I just felt kind of like, well, we didn't really have a lot of Lestat in season 2 either, aside from like the moments where Louis was kind of like tripping.
I didn't see an issue with Louis not being in it very much. I mean, I don't understand why people were upset about it, but to be fair, let me be fair and say, because there are probably those people that might be saying that there was not enough Louis might be people who haven't read the books.
True.
Because they would know that they would know that Louis is literally, I don't think, like I said, I don't recall him being in this book really at all.
I don't either.
I think there might be like a couple mentions of him, but I don't think he actually is like, I don't remember him actually showing up in the book at all. Like, that's why even in the movie of Queen of the Damned, he doesn't show up at all.
There's no Louis.
He's not even a part of it. So that's why, like, I'm not really even like upset, because I'm like, it needs to be organic to the story for him to be around.
It has to make sense.
I think that the moments in the episode when he did appear were meaningful for me, so I didn't feel the loss of him, because I enjoyed all his scenes with Sam.
Yeah.
What about you?
I actually wasn't bothered by it either, because like you said, like it wasn't like he was really like heavily in the Vampire Lestat the book, like if at all, because I can't even remember, like that's what I'm saying, like I cannot recall.
I think he was just like mentioned, because I remember being like, oh damn, Louis not in here. I love the two of them together.
And then like you said, like there's gonna be that build up to it eventually, because they know that we want to see them together. Like that's just how it is. Like everybody knows that we love Lestat.
That's how everybody felt during season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. I was looking for Lestat in season 2. He wasn't at that much in season 2 because they were broken up.
Yeah, that's true.
So you gotta want him. You gotta get some longing. You gotta get some.
Yes, we need some
Bridgerton.
We need some Bridgerton level angst and. Will they? Won't they?
Instead of I burn for you, I bleed for you.
Oh no.
Sorry, I'm corny. Sorry, not sorry.
Lestat would probably love it. There's a lot of amazingly delicious lines in there, but also some corny ones that had us laughing. Like all in all, I thought it was like fantastic for a first episode, and it kept me like glued to the screen.
Mhm.
Sam Reed is phenomenal. Like his stage presence when Lestat's rocking out with his group, it was just amazing. And it's there's so much that was happening that I feel like I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again, like to catch like the flashbacks and things like that. But all in all, amazing.
Yeah, it was very exciting, very good start to the season. So I'm looking forward to it. Based on the previews, it looks like it's gonna like for what's to come. It looks very, very exciting and very, very fun. So let us know what you thought of the episode and what you're looking forward to seeing this season. What you like, what you didn't like, and if you do like this video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe.
And we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.